Today, we're gonna be going through everything that we are doing in 2024 to run the absolute best Facebook ads. Now, these are the strategies that we've used at the end of 2023 that we are transferring them into 2024 to optimize for the best results, the most revenue, the most amount of conversions for every single client that we manage. Here's the deal. There's been a lot of changes in Facebook in the last 6 months, especially in the last year. There's been policy changes, there's been ad delivery changes, there's been bid strategy changes. Let's hop right into one of our clients. Now that we are in the account, first thing I want to do is just take a look at the core metrics. This is a client that has a $100 cost per acquisition goal. What that means for them is that every purchase we need to drive under $100. If we spend $100, we have to drive at least one purchase. In this case, we're driving a purchase every $92. We are about 10, really about 8% under their goal in a good way. That is exactly what we want to happen. This is not a ROAS driven brand, but all of the concepts that I'm going to show you here exactly apply if you are a ROAS. What we're seeing here, about 8% better, is roughly the equivalent to if you have a 2 ROAS, we're hitting just about a 2.2. If you're a $100 CAC goal, we're hitting a $92 CAC. First off, we have 2 prospecting campaigns. We first have our prospecting ABO campaign and then our Advantage Plus campaign. I'm going to keep this really simple for you all. We're just going to start with the campaign that spent absolutely the most amount of money and also drove arguably the most successful cost per purchase. First things first, within this prospecting ABO campaign, this is our interest-based campaign. This is where we have dozens, and I mean literally dozens of different interest groups. This could be anything from demographics to age to just a random interest. If you're selling nail products, this could be nail care. Really, really simple. The second campaign we have here is our Advantage Plus campaign. This is Facebook's newest and shiniest tool. We don't have ad sets. We don't have any targeting. Everything is broad. We take away a lot of our power here, but there's some advantages here, and that's why we like to continue to run it. Next piece, we have retargeting. Retargeting is really, really valuable. We still break out retargeting from prospecting and prospecting Advantage Plus. The reason we break it out is because we have unique goals for retargeting. We don't actually want to spend as much money in retargeting as we do in prospecting. Our churned campaign is anyone who was an active subscriber to this business or repeated purchases multiple times. They are their own cohort, and we're targeting them with very specific creative. We're uniquely tailoring our messaging there. And then the final campaign that we have is our retention campaign. This is very simply anyone who has purchased from us in the past. We just want to retarget them lightly over the course of the campaign. Let's dive in first to the juiciest campaign, the prospecting ABO. This campaign, as I mentioned, has a ton going on. So we have 75 different ad sets that we have tested here. Just to make this as simple as possible for us, I am again going to sort by spend. And what you'll notice is what we do is a very unique strategy. We launch unique creatives into what we call packs. This ensures that we don't interfere with any other audiences that we have. But really where the magic is in this entire campaign is the number and the sheer number of audiences that we have across the board. The reason that we do this and we don't just group everything together is because we could actually decide what to pause and what to keep running. If we had everything grouped together, we literally have no control over what audience gets money, what creative gets money. Facebook just does it for us and we hope for the best. In our case, we need to have a little bit more flexibility on that, and we want to be able to target specifically, hit certain creatives specifically, attack different initiatives specifically. What we do is we have different budgets per ad set. The ad set I have highlighted here spent close to $3,000. To get to $3,000 over the course of a month, which is the period that we're looking at, this would take about $100 a day. However, towards the end of the month, we noticed that this specific ad set started to underperform. Instead of just letting Facebook figure out that it was underperforming, which is a normal CBO setup, what we did instead was we lowered the budget of this specific ad set. So we were very nimble. We got ahead of it. We only did that because if you view our cost per purchase, it was $139, which is nearly over $40 higher than our average cost per purchase. Everything we are doing is trying to bring things down below the average to make things just a slightly bit better, 1-2% per audience as often as we can. And then what you'll see here is if we go to the top, take a look at this ad set I've highlighted. When it originally started with spending significantly less, we were actually able to scale it up substantially throughout the month. We spent $9,000 on this single audience alone, and it drove an $88 cost per acquisition for us. That ability for us to adjust budgets on the fly is so critically important because we can decide what creative gets spent, what audiences get spent, and then if we need to pull them back, we can pull them back instantly. This really works well if you're doing UGC that you only have certain rights for say 30 days, or whitelisting in this case, and you can be a lot more nimble, a lot more on your feet, and get ahead of the algorithm just a few steps. The next piece here is our Advantage Plus campaigns. As you know, if you run an Advantage Plus campaign, you have way less capabilities to do just about anything. In these campaigns, you are typically going to be running to the entire audience that you have, which could be in this case 300 million people, which which is the entire addressable United States. And you're not going to be able to really do anything here. All we need to do is specifically break out our existing customers. We exclude our purchasers from this specific campaign. Not really something you need to do if you don't have too many purchasers, but if you do have a big customer base, I would recommend excluding it because this is a prospecting campaign. We don't want it to spend all your money on retargeting or existing customers. For this campaign in particular, we are launching just about every single piece of creative that works well in our ABO campaign. So we're taking campaigns from here, we are pushing them into Advantage Plus when they work well, and then we are just adjusting budget every few days. So every few days, if it's doing really well, we'll bump up the budget a few dollars. If it's not doing too well, we can pull back the budget just a little bit. Very simple approach to Advantage Plus because there's actually not that many levers that we can pull. Now, you'll notice here, it actually drove 106 cost per acquisition, which is substantially lower than our ABO campaign. We drove a $97 cost per acquisition. That was very effective versus 106, which is just over our goal. Really easy here. We just spent way less money on Advantage Plus. You might ask, why are we still running it? There are some secondary metrics that we like from Advantage Plus that are a little bit better than our ABO campaign. We get higher click-through rates, we get cheaper cost per clicks, meaning we just simply are getting cheaper site visitors, which is something that may be funneling into retargeting and could be paying itself back over time. We didn't want to really get rid of Advantage Plus. It's still that shiny new object that Facebook's pushing our way, and we do believe in it, but we need to run it in conjunction with that ABO campaign. The third campaign that we have here is our retargeting ABO campaign. This is simply anyone who's been to our site, and we have a few cohorts that we like to include. First off, we have 30-day site visitors. Then we have add to cart 90 days. So this is anyone who's visited and added to our cart within the last 90 days. And then we have add to cart 180 days, excluding add to cart 90 days. For your business, there might be different metrics that you can retarget here. If you have a quiz, maybe you get a lot of initiate checkouts, but not a lot of purchases. There's a bunch of different things that you can retarget in these ad sets. What I would just recommend as a bare minimum is to have 90-day add to carts and 30-day website visitors. Don't get too expansive. Don't have something like a 180-day website visitors, because I can guarantee you watching this video right now, you've probably visited 20 sites today alone. And if you are going to start to try to remember the site that you visited 170 days ago, that is really, really tricky when it comes to retargeting, and you're probably just wasting your money there. The final two campaigns here. First, our churned ABO. This campaign, as we drop to the ad set, is the most simple campaign that we have, because this is anyone who is subscribed to our product or has purchased multiple times that we want to continue to target again. Now, this means that they have subscribed and then unsubscribed, just to be clear about that. The reason that we have this is because it's really, really easy if the customer has had a good experience to get them back to subscribing again or back to purchase again. If in your business you don't run subscription, you could just think about this as a lapsed customer. Might be someone who's purchased from you 1, 2, 3 times, but then hasn't purchased for the last 6 months. That's a perfect example of a lapsed customer and someone that you could include in this ad set. So this should be anyone who's purchased. You can include your pixel audiences and your Klaviyo audiences together to make sure you have the most accurate representation of who your active customers are. This structure is exactly what we were doing for every single one of our clients in 2024. It has worked absolutely the best out of anything else that we've tested across our entire portfolio in 2023, which is of course why we are transferring it right over to 2024. If you have any questions on the setup, please let me know below. Keep in mind, there's always individual cases. Don't be afraid to have a few too many campaigns in your account. Campaigns don't hurt one another. Just make sure you're not retargeting the same people over and over or overlapping too hard on audiences. It's really, really just important to get the right creative to the right people at the right time. And that's what this setup does better than anything we've done last year. Exactly why we're bringing it into 2024. If anyone has questions, let me know. Thank you. See y'all soon.